Hello, here we have a very small portable passive mixer that I've made. It's if I build a new instrument and it's got 4 pickups, I don't really want to have to wire in all the volume controls and everything on that instrument when it's still very experimental and I don't know if it's going to be in its final form. And it's also annoying if you do that because I want to be able to record each pickup on a separate track when recording, so that makes that more complicated. But if you just put all the pickups to jack sockets on the instrument and then have this mixer to mix things so that when you plug it into a desk at an open mic or some kind of gig, you have this to make it simpler for the sound engineer, then it solves the problems and involves less soldering. I think 4 pickups isn't enough. I should, 4 channels that is on the mixer. I should do more, which I probably will. But right now I'll just show you the box. This is the box and these bits here. This is on here got what's called a T-nut. This is a T-nut. Look upon its prongs and weep, which is apparently a type of nut that's used. There we go, you can see it there. Oh, there. It's got prongs so you can like force it into the hole in the wood and it will stay there. Sometimes they can fall out if you're rough with them, but varnishing the wood reduces the probability of that. And they're used for chairs. Apparently you drill a hole, or other bits of furniture, you drill a hole in the bit of furniture and hammer this T-nut in, and then you can screw a leg into the T-nut because it has the suitable thread coming out the top of the leg. But anyway, if we just take these off. Right, so here we go. This is the protective screen, which you can just remove like that. This is the mixer itself. You have that one. Yeah, this one is the output jack socket. The rest are input jack sockets with their relevant volume control. So I'd normally have it in front of me like this, so I can adjust the volumes and inputs from the instrument output to the PA or amp or whatever it is. These are more of these little bits of wood with the T-nuts on them. You don't really need to unscrew this. I just thought it was fun and I just like them really. On the other end it's just it's bolts all the way through, and that's where the head of the bolt is. I did consider putting the head of the bolt into a piece of wood similar to how this T-nut is in a bit of wood, and that way it wouldn't scratch whatever this was laid on top of. Even if you went like that, it just wouldn't scratch it, and that would be nice, like this. You just drill a hole through the wood that's the right diameter for the bolt, drill that all the way through, then drill another hole that's the diameter is the same as the distance from the flat to the flat of the head of the bolt. It has to be smaller than from the point to the point. Drill that part of the way through, and then you put the bolt through and then connect a washer and a nut and turn that with a spanner, and it will get pulled inside until, if you've drilled the hole right, the head of the bolt will be lower than the surface of the wood, and therefore it won't scratch anything. But it's not that important. It normally just goes on the floor and people don't worry about it. But I'll put the circuit diagram at the end of the video. But now I'll take this off and show you what it looks like inside. Oh, another thing, if this was made of metal, it would probably be better. It would probably be better shielded against noise, but there's not any noticeable problem anyway, currently. some venues have a particular problem with radio interference. There's the washers. They don't really need to be there. I consider using wooden washers for that. It's just so that the protective bit doesn't clash with the tops of these. Another thing you could do is drill holes into the protective piece, and then you can make the whole thing thinner, but that seems like overkill in terms of effort. Here we are. That's the front. Just 4 potentiometers, 5 jack sockets, simply wired together. No actual amplifier or anything like that. Just pure passive electronics. Guitar leads in, guitar lead out. It works. Here's the box. Very simple bit of plywood on the back. Bolts all the way through. These side pieces and these extra side bits so that nothing gets in on the side, just simply screwed with little screws there. For a long time I just had it like this with shorter bolts and washers and nut on each corner, but I was concerned that in my rucksack these bits might have things collide with them and they might get damaged, so I added the front piece to protect them from accidental collisions inside a rucksack. That's what it looks like when in use. You could add knobs to the volume controls if you liked that kind of thing. Then you can see what level they're on. You could write little numbers on if you liked, or draw pretty patterns. You could even add numbers in braille if you wanted, if that is useful to you or whoever's going to use it. But I usually just twist the knobs and listen, and that's enough usually. It might be worth blocking off these side bits as well, just to make sure that things can't get inside from that direction. Or you could make it all hermetically sealed and waterproof, just in case you were going to walk through a thunderstorm or some kind of torrential downpour to your gig. Here's the outputs from a typical experimental instrument. I use 500 kilo ohm potentiometers because I use humbucking pickups. If you're using single coil pickups, you may need 250 kilo ohm potentiometers. The right sort of potentiometers are labelled A, which is for audio. It means they're logarithmic rather than linear, which makes it nicer for when you're turning the knobs. It's the amount you turn adjusts the level by what seems a reasonable amount to humans according to how we perceive sound. Here's the circuit diagram.